as they say, back in the saddle again. Another Monday live show, Manchild show with Boy Green Digital, our lovely YouTube portal. You can like our video, hit the thumbs up, also hit the subscribe button. Our subscribers are slowly but surely growing, Boy Green, and they better start growing faster if this golf club's going to get the heck out of my bedroom. We'll show you more about the golf club a little bit later in the broadcast, donated by our friends at Play It Again Sports, but that golf club still up for grabs at the moment. I want to get it out of here. Come on.
Sure. Right.
Before Christmas, certainly. I mean, come on. If somebody doesn't want this golf club for themselves, you can give it to dad or to your brother, or your sister, or whoever in your family plays golf. It is a wonderful, wonderful, brand new driver, man. You don't just, some drivers don't grow on trees, you know?
No.
I mean, $400 or $500 these days plus for a brand new driver. We're giving it away for free. $400 retail value, free. And all you have to do is click that subscribe. All right, welcome aboard, everybody. And there's the link right there, youtube.com/MC Show Digital. All right, Boy Green, happy Monday, or is it? It's really kind of a sad Monday for us New York, football fans. Sans the Bills, who had the weekend off. Well, good for them.
Although bad news with how the division turned out, I guess, right?
I mean, this is like good news, bad news, good news kind of stuff. I mean, I guess for your squad, the downtrodden Jets, who are now still the only, winless team in all of football.
Yes, accurate.
It's not a lot of good news there.
No.
I think there's a couple of things we can conclude, and we can get into some of this stuff in depth, but I think we are pretty much at the place now, even the most optimistic of Jet fans, and I know you are a glass is half full Jet fan. You always will be. But I do think that we're to the point now where the Justin Fields experiment is over. I mean, whether he plays anymore during this season is immaterial. I think that the jury is in about whether or not he can quarterback this team as a franchise quarterback, whether he is the guy going forward. And it seems clear to me, coming off a week where he was horrendous and was saying all the right things, like, I gotta sling it, I gotta take chances, I gotta do things here, I gotta make things happen. And then the Jets, the defense again for the second straight week holds a team to minimal points. I mean, 13 points in an NFL game. If your defense does that, 95% of the time you're winning.
Back-to-back weeks of 13 points. Broncos had 13 and Panthers had 13.
And they don't even come close to winning. I mean, like, I know that they kind of had the ball in the fourth quarter and they could have tied the game up, but there was almost no hope that they were going to, because they just showed nothing. Listless offense. So it's sad times for Jet fans, and I think the worse this gets and the longer this goes on, it does, believe it or not. I mean, I know it is ridiculous talk in some ways, but not so ridiculous in today's world, that you start not only questioning, all right, well, we know the quarterback's not the quarterback, okay? If you didn't know that, now you know it. But now, is the coach the right coach? Now, quarterback play means a lot in this league, so, you need to have good quarterback play in order to win. But just the way the team's playing is very, very questionable in terms of whether the coach is reaching the players the way they want to be reached. So we can dig in on the Jets, shift gears here for a minute, and I can kind of proudly wear my blue today. Kind of. I mean, the loss is brutal as they get. The most brutal loss I think I ever experienced as a Giants fan was the fumble. Yes, I was alive for that. Yes, I was, watching it on television. Yes, I couldn't believe what my eyes saw. Joe Pisarcik, Larry Zonka, banging into each other, ball on the ground. Herman Edwards, of all teams, the Eagles, scoops it up, runs it in. I mean, that was just a disgusting moment in Giants history.
Victory formation, yeah.
But this one was, and that was all victory formation. Everything. All they had to do is take a knee, and it said they tried to hand it off, and then they botched the handoff. So it was just ridiculous, silly, awful stuff. Yesterday, I mean, I got to give the Broncos some credit for what they did. It was remarkable. 19-0 to start the fourth quarter. The Giants have just completely stopped the Broncos. I mean, just shut them down. Nothing going on offensively. Bo Nix, who cares? Wide receivers, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Sean Payton, offensive genius, who cares? Got his number. mean, the Giants just outplaying Denver completely. And then mysteriously, everything starts to go wrong. The defense just leaking like a sieve. It's like they were like the bipolar. They were like great Giants, awful defense, great defense, awful defense. They switched to awful defense in the fourth quarter, and they couldn't get much pressure, and they couldn't cover anybody, and everybody was wide open all over the field, and they were just gutting the Giants, and the runs were big, but still, even a reasonable amount of clock management, and the Giants get out with a win. Maybe
by
not
default,
right? Like 19-0. Pour it on, make it 27-0. That would have been even more wonderful. But who cares? In the game, in the NFL world, all you want to do is one thing: win, win, win. Every week you go out and you try to do that one thing, and that is win. And
by 1 point or 100 points, right?
Should have won. And you really look back at this season now through 7 games, and you say they should have not only this one, but they should have 2 wins this season that were taken from them. So they should be 4-3. And I was telling you before the show, if they were 4-3, they're solely in second place, and they're playing the Eagles next week for first place. That's what the Giants are doing. They're playing the Eagles next week for first place in the division. Just kind of how odd it is that the Patriots are technically in first place right now. Well, they got a win yesterday, too, so that moved them solely into first. But with the tie, because they've beaten Buffalo, they were technically in first.
The tiebreaker, right?
They have the tiebreaker. The Giants would be, if they could win, again, they got to win in Philadelphia, but if they could beat the Eagles next week, they could be in first place in the NFC East. Come on. I mean, would you not be like, are you kidding me? After 8 weeks, the Giants are in first in this division. I mean, even no matter what happens the rest of the season, you'd have to be like, this is unbelievable. This is fantastic. But they're not. And they still only have 2 wins. But the one thing, I guess, the silver lining, if you want to call it a silver lining, despite the very disappointing interception that Jaxson Dart threw, which was at the most pivotal moment of that game, switched everything, turned the switch on for the Broncos, turned the switch off for the Giants. But Jaxson Dart still was terrific. And rookies are going to make rookie mistakes, and that was clearly a rookie mistake. But all of us Giant fans, at the very least, despite a very, very disappointing game yesterday, wake up this morning saying, brighter times are ahead because we seem to have our guy. And everybody just wants their guy. And I told you, Boy Green, we've talked about this a lot. When the Giants made those picks, I'm not saying I'm some kind of soothsayer, because I'm not. Okay, I am no greater selector of quarterbacks in the NFL draft than any of the lousy scouts that are out there doing it every single year, stinking it up most of the time. All right, but I said the Giants needed to pick Abdul Carter at number 3, and they needed to pick a quarterback later in the first round. And I said, the start guy, I like a lot of things I hear, I like a lot of things I've seen. Let's settle for another chance at this later in the first round, if they're going to do it at all, or if the
trade back in, right.
And that's exactly it. They traded back into the back end of the first round, and they selected Dart. If they hit on both Dart and Abdul Carter, you just have to give Joe Shane a ton of credit for hitting. I mean, that's, those are 2 big swings, and those are 2 big hits. And if those 2 guys end up being transcendent pieces, one on the defensive end, one on the offensive end, for these Giants moving forward to whatever they are 3 years from now, 5 years from now, he has done a marvelous job, and it's starting to look more and more like that is the case.
Yeah, and I would say this for the Giants. Man, Joe Shane has a big set of cojones, because there's a lot of levels here, right? You love a quarterback enough that you think he's a franchise quarterback, but you're like, we believe the temperature from our scouting around the league is that enough people in the league also don't believe in our same evaluation, so we don't have to take him at 3. We believe we can take him later, but we're in love with him. And then that they were able to trade back into the first round, and they didn't give up a future first round pick, Lerch. You saw the Falcons trade back into the first round. They had to give up a future first. The Giants were able to give up. They had to give up assets, but they didn't have to give up a future first. They locked in Jaxson Dart, with also keeping all the picks, for the most part, the quality picks, in the treasure chest for the future to build around Jaxson Dart if it works out. And obviously they did. So, yeah, Joe Shane and Brian Dable, the combination of getting it out, deserve a ton of credit. And that's what 2-5 sucks. Hey, 0-7 is worse, pal. But the fact of the matter that you guys believe you have a franchise quarterback, and man, he's just got moxie, he's got toughness. I mean, just all
he's
of it.
willing to run, and I don't want him taking too many hits, but he's playing. What he's doing here is a little reminiscent of what Josh Allen started to do once he got rolling. Once he kind of realized who he was in the NFL. He looks a little that way. He's a pretty big guy too, not quite as big as Allen, but he's a good sized guy. He's thick. He looks like a guy that can take a hit. I don't want him taking these hits, especially on the arms and the shoulders when he's trying to get sometimes meaningless yards.
Yeah, he's 6'2", 223 pounds, by the way. 6'2", 223. Yeah, good size.
Yeah, and get me the numbers on Allen, but he's 6'2", 223. I'm going to guess Allen is maybe 6'3", a little bit taller.
I think Josh Allen's like 6'5", but maybe I'm overreacting.
No, you might be right. You might be 6'5". I remember.
Yeah, he's 6'5", 237.
Yeah,
so he's got another 15 pounds on Jaxson and 3 inches, but still, 223 is very sizable, of course.
But no, this guy's a good sized guy. Like, he's a thick guy, and he's he's not like Jaden Daniels, where I'm always like, that guy's running. I'm like, ooh,
right,
slender build. Calm that down, man. Like, that guy's gonna take a hit and he's just gonna break in half. And there's a toughness to Jaxson Dart, and I think part of what Jaxson Dart is doing with the Giants is he's instilling a belief that just didn't exist with Russell Wilson. It didn't exist with Daniel Jones, clearly. Okay, despite, and we'll get into Jones, another win for Indianapolis, another glorious day for them. Jonathan Taylor, arguably, it's between him and Christian McCaffrey, and maybe Bijan Robinson, but I think it's between him and Christian McCaffrey as to who's the best running back in the NFL right this moment, right this second. But Jaxson Dart has instilled a belief, not only in the Giants players, it seems, but certainly in the Giant fan base. I mean, it's been a long time. It's been a long, long time that Giant fans have felt this way about a quarterback this early.
I don't know if it's that long. I mean, Eli Manning, I mean, that guy worked out pretty well.
That was a long time ago when Manning got started, when he
you guys, I guess a long time was relative. Jet fans over here, long time, there's some different interpretations.
Right. Well, that's why I say to you, you and I have had many, many conversations over many, many years. And I just say, my franchise has been down in the mouth for a while. There's no question about it. But what is a while to me? A while to me.
You guys won a couple of Super Bowls.
Absolute joke to you. You're correct. It's an absolute joke to you because, your while goes all the way back to 1969, and if you want to say like, all right, moments in time where the Jets kind of were somewhat relevant, I guess you have to go back to the Rex Ryan days. I mean,
correct. 15 years ago, back-to-back AFC Championship games, right? We're on top of the world. People respect the Jets. They're like, man, this team has an identity. Right. They're winning.
It was genuine respect for this team 15-ish years ago.
That no longer exists.
But it was a very quick and fleeting couple of years, and then that all went downhill. And next, he's fired, and now you just the carousel,
vicious cycle,
coaching carousel, the vicious cycle. No QB, no coach. No. Coach, no QB, no QB, no it's just that is a horrible carousel to be on. Get off it as quickly as you can, Boy Green. Get off it.
Right? And look at that. 2 things here to highlight. Hep says long time kick rocks Lerch, and he spelled your name right. So that's a double dipper right there. Long time kick rocks Lerch. Yeah. Other Jet fans in the audience are like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But again,
I get it.
In all seriousness, though, Giant fans should be elated. I know it sucks in the moment. Jaxson Dart did throw a backbreaking interception, but he also had 4 total touchdowns. I mean, you're talking about the rocky roller coaster here. A lot more highs on that ride yesterday for Jaxson Dart specifically than lows. So that's exciting times.
And the Giants are moving the ball, and they're missing like their best guy,
Malik Neighbors. Obviously,
I mean, he's the best offensive weapon.
Sure.
Their tight end room. I mean, Theo's showing some signs, but it's still
and some nice pops.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see that tight end room better. When the Giants were in their glory, that was always a solid room.
Bavaro.
Yeah. Bavaro in particular, he was just a mainstay. He was just a beast, but Shockey was a nice pop for them.
I was a big Shockey fan.
Yeah. And I don't know. That room has been bleak in recent years also, but again, relatively soon. I do, Hep. I swear, Hep, I know. I do really genuinely feel for the Jet fan right now. I mean, they are, even though we're 2-4,
2-5,
2-5 now, 2-5,
Yeah.
2-5, and you're 0-7. Like it sucks. Both places suck, but yours place sucks a lot more. A lot more.
Because we don't have a quarterback of the present. We don't have a quarterback of the future, and we're winless.
There are some answers now. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to go back to the well on this. We'll get into this with Ed Valentine, certainly. So don't miss our bit with Ed Valentine this week on all things Giants. But there are just things that Brian Daboll is doing that are just ticking me off, man. I'm losing my pay. I'm a
Oh, should he not be safe?
there's just things I don't like. I just don't like the way he manages this team. I don't like the way he manages games. I don't like the way he manages the clock. I don't like his decision to go for a 2-point conversion after you've missed an early extra point just because the guy missed an extra point. And number one, can I just help me, Boy Green? I wanted to look this up this morning and I forgot to. Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Is Younghoe Koo on the practice squad?
I believe so. I'll double check that.
Have Younghoe Koo. And if they do, why is this kid whose name I can't even pronounce because you have to say it, McTinamani, whatever the heck his darn stupid name is, okay?
Can confirm that Younghoe Koo is on your practice squad. Yeah.
So we have a professional NFL kicker on our practice squad.
You do.
Meanwhile, we're running out a guy every week who played at Rutgers, was a pretty good college kicker, but in a few weeks that he's been given the job, has missed some key things, including extra points, which are supposed to be 99. Maybe since they moved it back, maybe it's 98% of the time or 97% of the time, but whatever it is, come on, you got to be making extra points regularly, okay? Or you're going to lose your job very quickly in the NFL as a kicker. And yet we're rolling out this kid. And we've got
here's the percentage, by the way.
So,
it used to be 99%, and then they made a rule change. It was 10 years ago now. I didn't know it's been that long. And it's now 94.6%. So it's dropped basically 5 percentage points.
Okay, so 95% of the time you should be making your extra points. So he misses an early one. Okay, let's think long game rather than short game here. Oh, let's get it right back and go for the 2-point conversion. This way we'll be even Steven. Screw that. You're up 12-zip. Let's make it 13 and play on. 13's still a good number. It's not 2 touchdowns, okay? But it is a touchdown and 2 field goals, and you don't know how this is going to play it out. There is Jude McAtamney, all right?
Hey, Jude.
McAtamney. I can't even say the guy's name.
I don't know.
Annie, where's that lousy number 99? I mean, dude, could we wear a kicker number, please? Kicker number.
That
Get
can't be
me
helping.
a single digit, please. All right? Please don't kick with 99 on your back. That makes me look like you're still in spring training, kid. All right? Get out of spring training. Spring training ended. Camp ended weeks ago. Many weeks ago. Get out of camp, 99. Oh, good grief. But just, why is Younghoe Koo on the practice squad and we're playing this kid?
Phil says that Brian Daboll said there was a kicker competition between the two after they signed Younghoe Koo, and Jude won, apparently.
Okay. Because he probably can kick him a little further. Because Koo, the one thing about Koo is he's not typically, in his career, hasn't been a long-range one. He made some really big long-range ones, but Koo is not a long-range one. But what Koo has is accuracy. He's accurate. He's solid. Sure. And the fact that you're bringing Koo in because theoretically at some point, your guy, Gano, is coming back.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't heard anything on Graham Gano. That'll be another question for Ed this week. Is Gano, even swinging his leg yet? Is this how long? I never heard the full, it didn't sound like it was the season. It sounded like Gano was out for a period.
Right. Yeah. So, he's on injured reserve. So he's at least out for 4 games, but then we'll see. Yeah.
But it was a leg issue. So that's serious for the kicker, obviously.
Of course.
But I mean, but I don't understand going for the 2 early like that, and then you give away the point, and then that point comes back to haunt you later because
that would have been
in overtime. You'll probably still be watching this game right now.
Yeah, could be. What a game!
I just, and then when you get to that, this is dangerous. I know, but I'm going to tell you what I was yelling at the TV.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So logics probably says, the NFL, quote, coaching playbook probably says you score that touchdown. Jaxson Dart reaches over. They review it. It's a touchdown. Yep. Giants lead by 2.
Right.
and logic and the NFL coaching playbook probably says, kick the extra point here.
To protect yourself, just in case, right?
Protect them from winning the game with a field goal.
Correct.
I kind of get it.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm going to tell you how I felt. Okay.
Right.
And I don't know. I'd love in the comments if any of you agreed, disagreed. Feel free to go either way with this. I'm not trying to convince you one way or the other. Okay. I know what I felt. Okay. Yeah. I felt the Dick McPherson moment coming on for all you Syracuse fans.
Interesting.
Dick McPherson moment coming on. You go for 2 because number 1, you don't trust your kicker. Okay. Number 2, if you score the 2 there, you essentially win the game. In my opinion, you do. I know they could go all the way down and score a touchdown, but that was looking like it was highly unlikely. It was going to be more likely a Hail Mary kind of situation to score that touchdown. I'll take my chances against a Hail Mary if I can make my 2 here, which to me is going to get me the win, even though all this bad stuff has happened to us, even though my quarterback has thrown a terrible interception, or, we've just fallen apart offensively and gone ultra conservative here in the late part of the fourth quarter to give them the ball back far too quickly. The fact of the matter is we still can time manage this game and win, okay, if we get the 2 here. And again, no guts, no glory. This is a 1-win team, a 2-win team, a 2-4 team trying to get a big road win, and you've just choked away the lead, okay, and gotten it back, in somewhat miraculous fashion. It required penalties on that drive. The Giants got a couple breaks. I mean, I don't know about that pass interference. I mean, I was like, ooh, they're going to give him PI on that. Wow. That looked like as incidental contact.
But fighting back for the ball. So underthrown ball, fighting back for it.
I mean, it's just a lot of weird, so many things they don't give you in terms of the PI, and they get that PI. So I don't know.
And look at Phil here. So he's interacting with that decision. You talk about potentially kicking the extra point, getting 3. He says, I felt kick extra point. Thought no way he would miss another one.
Yeah.
And he does. So, yeah, I guess that could have been a factor as well in all of it. So,
yeah. Whatever. I wanted it to. I was Dick McPhersoning. I was screaming the ghosts of Michael Owens, and please, just go for the 2 here and get this game over with. I can't take this anymore, and this kicker's going to miss. And then sure enough, he misses. And I was like, oh, my God. Now, if you went for the 2, you'd be in the same predicament even if you didn't get it. But if you got it, think of the glory. Plus, again, who do you want to put your trust in?
That's a good point.
You want to put your trust in your quarterback who just drove you down the field again, this rookie kid who's ignited this whole team and gotten them to believe? Or do you want to put it on the foot of a kicker and on a defense that for the last 3 drives has completely and utterly collapsed?
That's a good point.
Giving it to the other team. Like, I think time, place, and circumstance have to come into play here when you're making this decision about whether you're going to go for the glory or whether you're not. Everybody loves Dan Campbell.
Right.
I don't know too many people out there hating Dan Campbell.
No, man.
And Dan Campbell had some failures in the playoffs last year, including his team getting knocked out early.
One and done. They didn't win a playoff game last year.
What I love about Dan Campbell is he's going, and he's telling you he's going.
Yeah.
He's going, and he's stepping to the microphone post-game, whether he got it or not, saying, no, that's what we do. That's what we do here. Any other questions? That's what we do. Yeah. Again, it was with this situation, you know what? That's what we do here. I believe in my team. I believe in my offense. We go. When I think we are in a circumstance where the percentages are on our side, we go. Mm-hmm. And Brian Dable, you want to talk about all of Brian Dable fighting for his job, okay? Well, Brian Dable didn't fight for his job yesterday. Because he went ultra conservative on the out. You see them lining up like it was like goal line offense that last possession before they gave it back, and before they gave up the lead. Remember, they gave up the lead and they drove, So the night before where they were, quote, trying to run the clock. Okay. They went to like tight formation and like, okay, we're gonna just run Scatterboo right up the middle. Like, what are we doing? Are we trying to win the game or lose the game? You already blew
win or play not to
management part, okay? You already blew that, Brian. Now let's just go win the game and stop taking it away from the offense, the chance to get first downs to move the ball and to frustrate the other side, which you've been doing all game.
Sure.
We're going to go away from what's worked all game now. I just disagree with it. I think it's bad coaching. So Dable, he's on my crap list today for sure.
Which, again, I think there's something to be said. I just mentioned it. You can play to win or play not to lose. And when your team, who at the time was 2-4, again, they ultimately are 2-5 with the loss. Like, what do you have to lose? Especially Dable specifically, since, his job is sort of up in the air with the hot seat and this, that, or the other, despite the, seemingly win of finding Jaxson Dart and all the pop that he's shown. That's just not enough to automatically save the job, I think, of Brian Daboll or Joe Schoen or whatever combination it is. So, yeah, there was a lot of that, quite frankly, in the NFL of play not to lose versus going for the jugular.
Another potentially controversial yet decision that could be made in today's game. The game has changed. The game has changed vastly. And Bud Poliquin actually called me last night. We're going to be Brunch with Bud will be out as usual tomorrow. But I know this is going to be part of our conversation with Bud because Bud himself had called me to say, you know what? Every once in a while he calls me just to be philosophical about something. But he was literally like saying what I was thinking. So I was like, oh my God, I'm agreeing with Bud. I don't know what's wrong with me. But Bud said this. He said, the NFL stinks. Okay, forget about that comment because Bud just hates football.
Well, that's true.
A lot of times. He hates pro football. All right. So the NFL stinks. I was like, all right, Bud, did you call this to tell me that? Like, I'm in the middle of watching a game here. This was like during the late games, it was after the Giants game.
That's good at least.
Like
some level of respect.
The Sunday night game,
I see, okay.
It's kind of a little bit in downtime, a little bit in reflective mood. And he says, the game stinks. That game you love stinks. I was like, all right, Bud, I've heard this. Okay. Old man on the porch alert, leave me alone. And then I'm like, is there anything else you want? Any other reason you called me? He goes, no, listen to me. Okay. This is what has happened to the game.
Yeah.
These offenses can score. They don't play for 3/4 and 3/4 of a quarter. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the last quarter of the last quarter, is when the offense, when needed, it's the break glass when needed. Okay. Now they go for it. Now they play their game and they can score so at will, so fast. And the defenses have no chance. They just have no chance when the offenses say it's time to kick it in gear. They have no chance, at least for the good teams anyway. He's probably not talking about every team in the NFL. I offer your Jets as evidence. All right. And several other teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
But when they need it, they can just go get it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And oftentimes he says, you don't even need to watch the last 2 minutes and you find out the whole game. Game's decided the last 2 minutes now. You get defense, schmefense. I don't want to hear any more about defense. They can't stop anybody when they need to stop anybody.
Sure.
All right. So that was kind of his take.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it kind of is right. That like, it's just this mentality of now we have to turn it on. Now we have to have our best plays called. We have to do everything. And the offenses seem to be in today's NFL beating the defenses regularly, just scoring at will in the fourth quarter, as Badshaw says there. So yeah, it's a different game and it has changed a lot. And I think they need some good defensive coaches in the NFL to stop this, because for some reason the offenses have the upper hand these days. They just do. And
do they?
The way it is. What's
I don't know. I don't. Oh, actually, let me do this real quick, Lerch. Speaking of that, that's a great sort of leeway into it here.
All right. While you're searching, by the way, today's broadcast brought to you by our friends at Bayberry Automotive. Our friends at Bayberry, integrity in everything. As a matter of fact, I got to go and see Bayberry later this month. Boy Green inspection time. Got to go get inspected. So if you're looking for a great mechanic, go to our friends at Bayberry, right across from the Bayberry Plaza on Old Liverpool Road. On Route 57 in Liverpool, not on Old Liverpool. Go ahead, Boy Green.
Yes, I would say. Actually, why don't we do this? I'll let's take a break.
All right.
And coming out of the break, I'll
find something. Okay, Boy Green's going to find something real quick. We'll take 30 seconds to learn a little bit more about our friends from Bayberry Automotive. Stick around.
Integrity is a word that some people just throw around in life. But at Bayberry Automotive, integrity is everything. Integrity of their mechanics, who are all experienced and certified. Integrity in the work they perform, with nothing but 5-star reviews from satisfied customers on Google. Integrity that goes along with family. A family-run business that treats you like one of their own. Integrity in everything. Bayberry Automotive. BayberryAutomotive.com.
Located on Route 57 across from Bayberry Plaza, the premier choice for auto repair in Liverpool.
All right, there's our friends at Bayberry. All right, Boy Green, what do you got up your sleeve? I
got some trivia for you.
Trivia? Oh, okay.
Okay, here you go. Lerch,
Always
The
up.
Jets, yeah, the Jets offense has been pretty inept recently. When's the last time they scored a touchdown?
When is the last time the Jets offense scored a touchdown?
Yeah. Actually, I'll take defense, special teams. I'll take any
kind of touchdown.
Any kind of.
None of the Jets.
I won't discriminate.
Scored a touchdown.
Cross the plane of the end zone. Yeah.
Well, they had one in the Dallas game that we went to, right?
They did
They
a
did.
couple weeks ago.
They had one in that Dallas game in the fourth quarter of the
But
Dallas.
when was the most recent touchdown? Is my question.
Okay. So who have they played since Dallas? After Dallas, they played.
Just played Carolina, obviously, Denver, and then Dallas.
Okay. So, did they score a touchdown in the Denver game? I don't. I'm not a Jet savant, so the early first quarter of the Denver game.
Unfortunately, you were right, Lerch.
Was
I tried to guide you away.
It was Dallas.
It was with a minute
Fourth
45
quarter.
left
Okay.
in the fourth quarter. So think about that, Lerch. When we saw the team 15 days ago, it was the last time they scored a touchdown in person.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, you did convince me out of it for some reason.
I
was
did.
thinking I'm wrong. Wow, they scored it. Did they score a touchdown in the Denver
Definitely
game?
not.
What was the final score? Because the Denver game was a low-scoring game also.
13-11. The Jets scored 3 field goals and a safety.
Oh, it was a safety. Yeah,
And then they just scored 2 field goals on Sunday.
That's right.
Good night. Wow. Embarrassing, Lerch. It's just you do, because again, you just said prior to the break, right? Like, man, offense. It's a new era. Offense.
Gotcha.
I'm like, oh, is it? I don't know. I haven't seen a touchdown in 3 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's some truth to what Bud says. There's some truth to that. I mean, because it does seem like the good offenses can, turn it on when they need to. And it just feels to me like the defenses don't get after it when they need to.
But there is something. Who said that? I think it was.
Where is it? Like, all right, you want to go back in time? Let's go back in time. Like,
okay. All right.
who are when we think of all-time great defensive coordinators? I'm talking all-time great defensive coordinators. You want to know the last one that I truly think of? And I could be wrong. Maybe you're going to prove me wrong and name 5 guys, and I'm going to be like, oh, yeah, maybe you're right. Any idea who I'm thinking? A very familiar.
So you're saying who was the last one that you can think of?
All-time great defensive coordinator.
Rex Ryan?
No.
Okay. Dick LeBeau, Pittsburgh. Long-time legend. Yeah. Oh, okay. Bill Belichick?
Could be Bill, but actually I'm thinking of the guy. I mean, the timing, I'm trying to think because Belichick probably hung around. But Buddy Ryan. Okay.
Oh, wow. That's going back real far. Yeah. He was on the Jets Super Bowl team.
And what he did with that 85 Bears team.
Sure. Right. Yeah.
What he did with that defense just dominated. Just you were like, oh no, we're playing them, and it wasn't because of wasn't because of Jim McMahon, their quarterback. Jim McMahon, yeah,
it is his name, Jim McMahon. That's correct, yeah.
And it wasn't because of Walter Payton, who was incredible, unbelievable. It was oh no, I got to face those guys. I mean, you're right. You named some guys. I mean, I don't know. You think Rex is an all-time defensive coordinator? I don't know. I think of
all time, maybe.
I think of a very good defensive coordinator. I think of Rex in the same spirit to say that I think of Steve Spagnuolo, who's very good in today's.
Oh, Steve Spagnuolo! Oh my God, that's a shame on us.
But is Steve Spagnuolo an all-time? Like, I think Buddy Ryan's an all-time. I don't know if Steve Spagnuolo is an all-time.
Spags is the most decorated defensive coordinator in NFL history. Has 4 Super Bowl rings as a defensive coordinator for your Giants, Chiefs. I mean, that's a stupid. I'm an idiot. We should have definitely said that one. That's disrespectful. He's the best defensive mind in the game right now. So
he might be. He might be right now the best defensive mind in the game. And I love the way he mixes it up and he does different things. But he has,
Bud Carson, great there from New York.
Carson, that's a pretty.
I love.
That's
Bud
a pretty
Carson.
good name.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but Buddy
Dungy
is the guy that really stands out. Dungy again, great, but not to me all-time great. You know, maybe my list is just too short because then I'm like, who do I go after? Ryan, you know, like
Bill Parcells.
Probably. I mean, was he? I mean, how many years did Parcells? I mean, that's part
Chuck
of the problem.
Noll. Chuck
so
Noll's
many of these
great
guys,
one.
you know, so
Tom
many of these
Landry.
guys became head coaches so quickly that, like,
I guess that's true, right?
You know that you remember them as head coaches rather than as defensive coordinators. I mean, that's part of the curse, right? You do a great job as a coordinator. Guess what? People want to hire you to be a head coach, and now you give that aspect of the team, whether you're an offensive guy or in this case we're talking about defensive guys, you hand that off to someone else, and now you don't get the credit anymore. Now that person either gets the credit or they get the criticism.
Yeah, to your point on Parcells. Okay, another random trivia for no reason whatsoever. Let's get some more trivia for you here. Okay. All right. So how many at the NFL level? How many seasons was Bill Parcells a defensive coordinator?
Total guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
5. Probably
3.
I was going to say probably 4.
3,
I was say less than that.
And of course, they were all cut off the music. They were all with the Giants, but separated. He was the defensive coordinator in 79, but he resigned in the offseason. There was some sort of situation in that 79-80 season where he ended up going to New England. And then he came back in 81-82 and then became the head coach, was there for all the glory. So that is a good point, though, that you don't think about that. Some of the head coaches sort of get eliminated. Because, like, I mean,
Buddy eventually got a head coaching chance too. He eventually,
of course, he did. Yeah. So, and again, maybe that's where
Dick LeBeau, Dick LeBeau's
Dick LeBeau.
He's an all-time
100%. He would be on my list. But those are two head coaches.
But like when I guess what I'm getting at here is not to besmirch these greats of the game on the defensive side of things, but just to say, when is the next Buddy Ryan coming along? You know, when is the next 85 Bears defense arriving in the NFL and showing every offense that walks into their building? Oh, yeah? You thought you could do things. We're not going to allow you to do things. And that defense just did not allow teams to run their offense, no matter how good they were. It didn't matter whether it was, you know, Joe Montana and the vaunted 49ers rolling in there, whether it was the Giants and Phil Simms or whoever it might have been at that time that were the you know, teams that had very good to above average to great offenses. That team said, bish bosh, you're going to have to run something different against us because we stop all that stuff.
Because I'm looking at the numbers in the league right now to say, okay, well, like, who are those guys right now? We just mentioned Spags. Obviously, that's a name we have to mention. But, like, Jeff Ulbrich, man, the number one defense in the NFL heading into this week, and he got slapped around by Mac Jones, Christian McCaffrey, and everybody, and they got a backup squad. Go to any of these notable defensive teams. Jesse Minter of the Chargers is widely respected, but they got tossed around by Indianapolis. So, like, it's not like a defensive coordinator is shutting people down.
Think of this for a second. All right. This will be very relatable to everybody's in the room right now, me and you as well. All right.
Yeah.
Anybody that watches this. Okay.
Sure.
So I would think that pretty much everyone in this room right now plays fantasy football. Okay. I mean, I don't know how you're an NFL fan if you don't play fantasy football these days. I mean, even old hags like me, okay, playing fantasy football.
It's un-American not to.
Okay. So fantasy football. So if I could give you any defense in the NFL right now, Boy Green, to have on your fantasy football team for the rest of the season, and you have to stick with them, who would you take? And your answer is going to be, you know, 5 different possibilities because
probably.
Well, this week I'd love these guys because they're playing the Vikings. So last week give me you know, they're playing the Saints. You know, that team's playing the Jets. Let's just get who's ever covering the Jets because
not a bad strategy, by the way. That's been quite effective.
Right? And that in itself is evidence. I know it's just statistical nonsense in some ways, but that is evidence about the lack of a dominant defense in this league. And literally year to year it changes. Like we went through a period of time where the Giants, when they had LT and that whole crew, okay,
in the 80s,
you just knew that was trouble every week, you know, and there weren't many weeks among those weeks where you were like, they're going to play lousy. All right. They were just always bringing it. So where is that right now in the game? Like, I don't think there's nobody in the league, including Green Bay, who I thought would be gangbusters, throwing Micah into that mix, and they've been nothing but a mediocrity. Statistically, in fantasy, they're terrible.
Jeff Hafley, give a shout out to him, former Boston College head coach. He's the DC now.
Yeah. So like the answer is there is no real dominant defense in the NFL right now. Go ahead, commenters, tell me who it is. Tell me who it is. Who you want? You would fantasy football at the beginning of the season, give me this defense the whole year, and they're going to be money in the bank. They're not. The leading team statistically, at least going into this weekend, we're about to sort it all out here once we get through this Monday night doubleheader tonight. All right, but last week the top two defenses, again, fantasy is fantasy. It's a point system, so it's all relative. Okay. But the best two defenses in football, fantasy wise, going into last week were Indianapolis and Jacksonville. Would you have picked those two at the beginning of the season to be your defense? No.
I would not.
No, and no.
Wait, who were the two you said?
It was Indianapolis and Jacksonville.
Okay, so Lerch, right now I have the statistics in front of me of the best defenses in the National Football League from this season. Who do you think they are right now?
Indy yesterday. Indy yesterday, they gave up 24 points. That's not terrible. It's probably Indy and Denver. I know Denver Denver got lit by the Giants late in that game. So it's not Denver now. No. So I thought Denver could get like a 15-point week. They could move up to number one. They did not. So it's probably still Indy. Probably Jacksonville fell out of that spot. I mean, they gave up 35 burger. That was awful. So who else was in the mix there? Maybe New England. I'm going to say Indy and New England. Total guess. I have not looked.
Yeah. So Indy is in second place. New England is number one. They have 65 points. They were just aided, obviously, by the 19 points ahead against Tennessee, which jumped them in the mix. Rams are another one. They're tied for second place. They have 62.
Yep.
There you go.
But wow. I mean, are you like, ooh, there's a great deep. Woo, don't want to play those guys. Yeah, the answer is no, Boy Green. The answer is no.
Definitely not.
So that is an indicator. It's just fantasy stuff, but it's an indicator. We could go look at we go to PFF and go look at who the best defense actually is.
Sure, right.
But there's no dominant defense in the NFL right now, period. There's just not. There are teams that have good players. There are teams that play good from time to time, but there are no dominant defenses. There is no defense right now that people are quaking in their boots to go play. And for those that thought it might be Denver, well, I think the Giants and their rookie quarterback just proved that wrong yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who is it? There is nobody. There's nobody. There's nobody. That's the answer to the question. So I hate to get on the old man on the porch Bud bandwagon here, but I do think there's some truth to what Bud said.
There's something to be said for that.
All right, let's break it all down. Talk about all these games over the weekend. All right, so let's just kind of boom our way through. Okay, so London. I mean, it could have been tea and more tea. Watching that game, Rams just dominated Jacksonville 35-7. Again, I think what comes out of the discussion in that game, Boy Green, is one simple thing: is Trevor Lawrence a franchise quarterback? Because every time I seem to watch him play, I'm like, I don't think so.
I think he's just really overrated. And the problem is Jacksonville is tied to him. They signed him like a $300 million deal. I mean, he's the guy. I just think he
has to make it work.
He's just overrated. Like, here's the thing. His draft class stinks. Justin Fields sucks. Mac Jones, say whatever you want about what the journey has been, but he's like on his third team in 3 years. So, like, it hasn't lived up to the billing. Zach Wilson's obviously been terrible. Trey Lance is a backup in the league right now. Zach Wilson actually, I don't know if you saw that note yesterday. He got benched from the bench. He just randomly yesterday, they announced it right before the games. He just got demoted to QB3. So Trevor Lawrence is better than those guys, but is that really saying much? The rest of the class sucks. Right. So, Trevor Lawrence has been super overrated. And here's the other thing. I totally had this temperature wrong. I picked Jacksonville to cover the spread. And the London thing I overrated, Trevor Lawrence I overrated, and definitely underrated the LA Rams and their star power. With no Puka Nacua, no problem. They dominated. So
yeah, boy, Matthew Stafford's having a great year. I mean, all that back problems and everything. I was very paranoid.
I was very worried.
At his age, this could be a short season for him, and he's played fantastic. So he's definitely an MVP candidate right now for what they've done, and he's been highly, highly responsible. Okay, so tea and crumpets, not all that interesting, other than I really do wonder whether or not Jacksonville really has a franchise quarterback, but they are paying him as a franchise quarterback, and they are tied to him. So if they don't figure it out, they're going to be they're going to be in trouble for the next bunch of years. It's just that simple. Unless you could find some sucker to trade them to and take on all that money. Holy crow.
Which is unlikely, I
imagine anyone would do that. All right. Kansas City just blows the doors off of Vegas. 31-0. That was a very embarrassing loss for Pete Carroll. I think I saw this morning reading through all these games. I think Ashton Genty touched the ball 7 times in that game.
Yeah,
7 touches for the guy who's probably their best player right now, the rookie.
For sure. I mean, he has to be because Brock Bowers has been
Mahomes has found it, and the return of Rashee Rice and 2 easy touchdowns, and it just looks like it's like 3-3. I mean, Kansas City looks like a 5-1, 6-0 team the way they're playing right now. So
7 touches. You were right on Genty. 7
touches. Oh, that's. I mean, I understand game script and everything else, but that guy could catch it too. I mean, just do stuff. Get him involved. This has the makings of what happened initially in Atlanta when Bijan was by them and dopey Arthur Smith, was out there running Tyler Algier out there, at least half, if not more of the snaps. And you were like, what are they doing? This guy is a phenomenon. And you're going to put Tyler Algier in front of him or at a 50-50 pace. It was
very
just
confusing.
You can see what Bijan is. Even though the Falcons didn't play great last night against San Francisco, you can see what Bijan can do. They're doing a much better job with that new coaching staff, getting him involved, at a high level. So that game just wasn't meant to be. San Francisco somehow did it. Again, we'll get to San Francisco later. But, Genty, they got to get Genty involved any way, shape, or form you can. All right.
And it's hurting not to have Brock Bowers. Obviously, he's been missing like the last month. So
no question. That's a killer for them. That's an absolute killer for them. All right. Cleveland just mops the floor with Miami. I can't believe we haven't already heard it. If we don't hear it before the end of this show, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, let me see. Actually, I think Rappaport had a report on that it does not look like he is going to get fired right now.
I mean, oof. 31-6 by Cleveland, a team that can barely score. Judkins goes nuts.
Well, here's, by the way, breaking news just coming in. This will affect Buffalo Bills fans who are listening.
Okay.
In the Jets-Panthers game, Bryce Young suffered a high ankle sprain. He will miss this week against the Buffalo Bills. Bills are playing the Panthers coming out of the bye. So it'll be Andy Dalton time for the Carolina Panthers against the Buffalo Bills coming out of the bye. So interesting nugget there just coming in from that perspective. But, yes, Mike McDaniel is not expected to lose his job as of now. The organization, I guess, is hoping results can change his future. So Mike McDaniel not to be fired.
Well, you keep hang on that wash line much longer. Whew, that thing is a dying ship right there.
But I'll tell you on the Cleveland thing, right? Sometimes you don't have the right temperature on the game. I was all over Cleveland. I felt pretty good about it, and Cleveland runs through them. So, shout out to Cleveland.
Yeah. I told you that was going to be my mistake at a weekend. It was, and I should have changed it.
You picked the fish.
I should have changed it. I forgot about the weather and everything that was going on there. That was the swinger. I already told you I was going against my Manchild principle of warm weather team, cold weather place.
You did
and then
say
you throw
that,
the crazy weather in there, and then I had already made my pick, and I just said, it ain't right to do that. If I circled something on the sheet, I shouldn't just switch it.
Way to commit. I appreciate you diving on that sword.
But I hated that sword that I dove on. And all day Sunday as that game was approaching, I was like, I'm giving away a pick here. I'm giving it away. And then I watched it, and then I was like, oh, my God, I gave it away. I just gave away a free pick there, which is annoying, considering I'm sitting at 6-6 with the 2 games to go tonight. I'm going to be 500 again this week, probably. Just despicable. I don't know. That's very disappointing to me to just keep going 500. You know me. I've been good at this picks thing.
Hey, but Lerch, you're in first place. If you want to crown him.
But it still stinks. I mean, I don't measure myself necessarily by that and only that because I want to do well, and we're just none of us are doing well. It's just awful.
No, awful.
All right. So Cleveland takes care of business. Miami stinks, and I can't believe they're still not firing their coach, but they will eventually. They'll come around.
I think so, yeah.
New England, 31-13 over Tennessee. Listen, it's Tennessee, so let's not get crazy, okay? I know their defense played great. I know that Drake May played great.
Mike Vrabel's return. There was Vrabel chance at the end of the game in Nissan Stadium.
Look, it was a good win for New England. I think, again, much like what's going on with the Giants and the Jaxson Dart effect,
sure,
there is a Drake May effect now happening.
No doubt. Yeah.
Okay. And the Bills better start worrying about it because Drake May looks like a different guy this year. He is efficient. He put down the most efficient quarterback game in the history of the Patriots yesterday.
That's unbelievable.
Better than anything Tom Brady ever did as a Patriot. Better than anything Drew Bledsoe ever did as a Patriot. Better than any Patriot quarterback has ever done in a Patriots uniform. He put down the most efficient day in quarterbacking history of the New England Patriots organization yesterday.
Stunning.
You better pay. Now, it's against a stinky team, okay?
Sure.
So a little perspective, okay? But it's still remarkable. And he's been showing signs of this for weeks. He's been on my fantasy team all year. I drafted him in the Champs League. He's been sitting on my bench. He hasn't played a single week. When Patrick Mahomes has a bye, he'll be playing. Maybe there's another matchup somewhere along the line that I might say, all right, I'm going to go to the kid.
Could trade him maybe.
But I mean, Mahomes has flat out been great this year as a fantasy quarterback. I think he's number one. I think he's number one or number two I think he's number one in quarterbacks. I think he's ahead of Josh Allen. And so, I think he's a number one QB in fantasy right now, points wise. So Patrick Mahomes has been incredible. So obviously I can't really sit him, but Drake May has been fantastic. And if you haven't been kind of keeping your eye on that, you need to be keeping your eye on that because he's been really, really good. And he's in the top. He's in the top 3 or 4. Especially after yesterday, it's going to go up more. Is he number one now? He hasn't passed Mahomes now.
So Mahomes is number one.
Mahomes is
but he's not only number one, Lerch. He is number one by 30 points.
It's been fantastic.
I mean, good Lord. The next closest is Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts runs all over the place, and he is 30 points behind Patrick Mahomes. But to your point, Drake May is third in the league. You have 2 of the top 3 quarterbacks in fantasy football on your roster.
And one guy hasn't even played. Single week. Been on my bench every single week. That's a first place team, Boy Green. When things happen like that, right? You say, you want to wonder why I'm in first place? Because things like that. All right. Wow. Just the things like that. Draft pick that goes right. I took Mahomes last year a round earlier than I took him this year. And I was like, oh, this was such an awful pick. And what has happened to that offense? And Mahomes doesn't throw the ball down the field anymore. But there was all this chatter during the offseason this year that he's going to try and throw it down the field. They're going to stretch the field again. They're going to get busy again. And I was like, that receiving core is better. If it's healthy, they're going to be good. And so I just decided in a round later this time around to roll the dice one more time on Mahomes. This is going to be my last hurrah. And finally, it looks like cha-ching. I hit the jackpot because he's been rock solid. So, but anyway, fantasy aside, Drake May is a thing. He is more than just a fantasy thing. He is a reality thing in the game of football. And the New England Patriots, while I still like the Bills to win that division, it's up now. It's up.
It has to be.
It's up in the air. I mean, they're actually in first place right now. They're a half game ahead of the Bills, and they have the head-to-head. Now they're going to play again, so that head-to-head may disappear. Probably will. All right, but yeah. Oof.
They're a game and a half up on the Bills. That is unbelievable.
All right, Johnny Boy's in the comments asking a question, so I couldn't quite see what it was. Question for Lerch: do you believe if Dart got drafted by the Jets, he would have the success that he's having with the Giants? Great question. Boy Green, you answer that question first. I'll answer it second. I need to marinate for a second. I have some thoughts. I need to marinate for a second.
I know what pessimistic Jet fans are going to say. It wouldn't have mattered. This team was destined for disgustingness, and it wouldn't have mattered. That's what some Jet fans are going to say. To me, 100%. He would have had success. Garrett Wilson is an awesome receiver. Breece Halt's a very talented running back. I think the thing that and I'm not a Giants fan, but seeing Jaxson Dart's, like, his energy is infectious. Like Justin Fields, to compare situations, is a very conservative guy. He's very reserved. He doesn't ride too high. A touchdown happens, he's like, okay. An interception happens, okay. He's just very neutral. And when a team is hanging in the balance of losing these games, and you're looking at the energy of the quarterback and looking to see if he's going to pick you up, he's just right here. And that Joe Cool can help you when you're winning, but when you're losing and he's not picking up the energy, I think that loses you. Jaxson Dart's energy is palpable. When he went to the sideline, he's screaming his head off. The Giants players around him believe, and they're drinking the Kool-Aid and stuff. So yes, 1,000%, he would have had success. And quite frankly, I mean, we just did this with the Giants earlier in the show, so maybe it's unfair. But like with all the Jets games that were hanging in the balance and all they needed was a pulse of anything at quarterback, maybe the Jets could be even better than where the Giants are at 2-5. Because, like, think about it. They've had this Carolina game they should have won. They had Denver, obviously, they could have won. Pittsburgh, they could have won week 1. They could have 4 or 5 wins right now, but it doesn't matter because like they don't. But no, yes, I think Jaxson Dart would have been able to have success. Tanner Engstrand has been a solid offensive quarterback, but we haven't seen it because the quarterback play has been terrible, that there's guys open that he hasn't been able to take advantage of. So long story short, 100% I think Jaxson Dart would have had success absolutely with the New York Jets.
Johnny Boy, I don't always sit in Boy Green, positive territory all the time. Mm-hmm. Definitely more of a critic than he is of my own team, of other teams. But I think what Paul just said is correct. The magnitude of success maybe is the question.
Sure, we could debate about that, I suppose.
But the Giants, in all honesty, as an organization, haven't been all that good in recent decades, or in the last decade. Let's just put it there. Sure. I mean, we're seeing evidence of a very competent quarterback in Daniel Jones just simply changing to another team, having other players and other coaches around him and turning into a really good player. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if the Giants have managed people all that well in recent days, but I don't think it's about how the Giants have managed Dart here. I think it is about what Boy Green was saying. It's about Dart's energy, his infectious, competitive nature, and the fact that he's seemingly a very competent guy. He sees the field well. He's tough. He just has a lot of the ingredients that guys in football on the offensive side of the ball want to follow. And I think the Jets would follow him just as the Giants have been following him here in these early stages. And so, yes, I do think that he would have relatively the same success with the Jets as the Giants. That's the answer to your question. I'm sticking to that. Initially when you asked it, I was like, oh, I don't know about that.
And I know, because again, Jet fans.
I needed to marinate a little bit just to kind of get myself in the right mind to say that, because I don't, Johnny Boy, I don't disagree with what I think you're inferring here, and I suppose that this is what you're inferring, and there's some truth to it, that the Jets sometimes wreck guys, that they just seem to ruin
the history of it. Sure,
like I don't know, like I don't know that Zach Wilson was ever going to be good.
Right. Yeah.
I really don't. I mean, I actually liked him at BYU, and I thought, like, this guy's going to translate. He's going to be good. And the Jets picked him. I was like, oh, they might have a winner here. I like this kid. He's got the moxie. And then it didn't happen. I wonder if, again, let's use the highest of high staffs, okay, to put them on teams, organizations. I wonder if Zach Wilson landed with Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers, whether he'd be what Brock Purdy is today, what Mac Jones has been since he stepped in for Brock Purdy. Like, why not? Like, good organizations with good playbooks, good coaches, good structure seem to be able to get the most out of guys, whatever that most is. Now, I don't know that Zach Wilson is going to be, a Hall of Famer just because he ends up in San Francisco being drafted by them and being their potential franchise quarterback turned into something, all right, versus that he landed with the Jets and at the time what was a pretty messed up roster and a very, very tumultuous coaching staff situation.
Right, not a great support system.
Change, no support system. I mean, so that hurt him. There's no question that hurt that poor kid.
Didn't help. And
he's not going to be the first. He's not going to be the last. And the Jets aren't the only organization. Cleveland does it regularly. They could very possibly ruin both of these quarterbacks. If Gabriel was to be anything, he could be ruined in Cleveland. If Shador ends up staying there, I don't know what the heck he's doing with Shador.
Oh my God,
staying there, might he be ruined? He's probably better off right now not playing for that organization at all.
Probably, to be
in all
honest.
honesty. Yeah. But there just are some organizations in football that just constantly get it wrong, that don't put support systems in place that need to be put in, and they can ruin players. And but I don't think Jaxson Dart would be ruined by the Jets. That's the long answer to a short question that you asked, Johnny Boy, and a great question, really good question. I like that question a lot.
Which, by the way, this was interesting last night during the broadcast. Again, these coaches spill their guts on the table so the broadcast can have things to talk about. Kyle Shanahan said when he traded up to that 3rd overall pick, which they ultimately took Trey Lance, he said he did the trade with the intention to take Mac Jones, and he said we just had so much time. We made that trade like a month and a half before the draft. He had so much time that he overthought it, and went from picking Mac Jones to picking Trey Lance. And then you think about that, and he said we would have if the draft was right on that day that we did the trade, we would have taken Mac Jones. And think about the NFL. Brock Purdy never gets his chance if Mac Jones is drafted there, because I assume Mac Jones is the system quarterback we're seeing now. So then Brock Purdy maybe never happens because he never gets the opportunity as a 7th round pick, and all the world continues to freak out a different way. It's to your Zach Wilson point. If they get him, what spins here, there, or the other way? Crazy.
All right, Solitary Man, 1971, popping in here and saying Wilson was with Sean Payton and they got Jack out of him. Let's not say Wilson would be good if he wasn't with the Jets. I would argue back on that, Solitary Man, and say this. Just because someone eventually lands in someone else's system doesn't mean they're immediately going to be fixed. As a matter of fact, as they say, the damage may already be done. Okay. You can get a quarterback to a point where he's incapable of making good decisions on the field because you've been making such bad ones for him, just in terms of your support, in terms of your play calling, in terms of everything. And now that quarterback just doesn't see the field the way that they did when they were playing in college. There is no arguing. Zach Wilson was an outstanding quarterback in college with those college coaches, with that college playbook playing at BYU. Mm-hmm. Now, the pro game's different than the college game. Okay. And there's a whole different set of skills on top of the skills you already need, okay, the physical skills, to be an effective NFL quarterback. But I don't know that that's true, because I think guys can be ruined. And even if eventually a better coach gets their hands on them, there might be already too much damage, too much residual to really find their way back. It's a point. It's not a terrible point, but I don't agree with it. I think that I don't know if Zach Wilson was to be anything, but I do think that the Jets really took a fork to him.
Right, because I think there's multiple prongs here, right? When he being Zach Wilson, got traded to Denver, he had already had 3 years of starting with the New York Jets, did not look good, and he lost the quarterback competition to the combination of Jarrett Stidham and what ended up being Bo Nix too, and didn't get his opportunity to start that year. But if he was drafted by the Broncos as a first-round draft choice, then he would have gotten opportunities on the field, and who knows what he would look like. We don't know what that result would have been, I suppose.
And I'll try to draw a little comparison here to Daniel Jones. We're just talking about him.
Sure.
All right. So one could say, the Giants owner himself has admitted we didn't do the right thing by Daniel Jones. We didn't,
didn't do him any favors.
No, we didn't do him any favors. But Jones did have some success with the Giants.
He did.
He did have some moments. Mm-hmm. He was also injured quite a bit as well.
Sure.
So I think the Giants did some damage, but it doesn't seem, now that he's with the Colts and he's playing the way that he's playing, that damage is permanent damage, and that Daniel Jones now, with the right play caller, with the right complement of tools and weapons around him, with a good support system, is now proving he can be a competent, if not maybe more than competent, quarterback. But again, Jones is a great story right now, but we're talking about 7 games. Okay. There was a season, what was it, like 2 seasons ago, Boy Green, where the Philadelphia Eagles were 10-1?
Yes.
Something like that, right?
Yeah, their only loss was to the Jets in week 6, and then they collapsed, right?
And they completely collapsed. So there was 11 games of fantastic play, and then a disastrous end to the season. So let's see. I'm not predicting the Colts are going to fall apart.
Oh, man, 6-1, best record in the AFC. And we did our NFL picks, and you guys should get involved every Friday and watch them and interact with them and make all your picks against the spread on Instagram. But it was straight up disrespectful that the 5-1 Colts at the time were an underdog to the LA Chargers. I found that incredibly disrespectful. And hey, Vegas, you want to give me the Colts as an underdog all day. And what an easy pickings. I didn't get many wins this week.
By the way, that line, because I have the sheet in front of me, that line opened at -6.
That's unbelievable.
So the Chargers opened. Okay, now that changes very quickly once the bettors get betting. But the line opened. Vegas opened that line at Chargers -6 over Indy. I would have jumped all over that.
Yeah.
Everybody did except for Internet. Lone Wolf that one and got it wrong. So no ow for him.
Nice.
It's more like a dying quail. So Ed lost on that game. He had Lone Wolf the Chargers in that game.
Excellent. Nice.
All right, let's go through the rest of the games real quick. All right, So we got to New England, Chicago. All right, I know it's just little old New Orleans, but the Bears look like the Bears again. That was I should say this about the Bears. Bears didn't really look like the Bears.
I was just about to say.
Their whole thing was their success this year has been Caleb finding the receivers. And in this game, the receivers did nothing. Roma Dunze, one of my superstar fantasy players, had 2 catches for 21 yards, I think, Boy Green, and like was targeted like 4 times maybe in the game, something like that. So the numbers were brutal for Roma Dunze, who's numero uno on that in that receiving core. And I'm sure nobody did it. I mean, you want to run through the numbers on the receivers in that game?
I have them all in front of me. Yeah. So Caleb had 170 yards. He didn't throw a touchdown, and he had a
70 yards passing. Ooh.
On the receiving end, DJ Moore led the entire group with 3 catches for 43 yards. Roma Dunze, that's disgusting. Roma Dunze had 2 catches for 31. Colston Levelland, 3 for 24. Luther Burden, 1 catch for 22. Cole Komet, 1 catch for 16. DeAndre Swift, 1 catch for 14. And then Kyle Monongahai, the old Rutgers running back, 2 catches for 13 yards. And then Alamide Zacchaeus, 2 catches for 9 yards. That was the receiving core production for the Chicago Bears.
So they ran the ball like gangbusters. Swift was terrific. And so was the Rutgers kid.
Yeah.
And the two of them piled it up. And so Chicago wins handily 26-14 over New Orleans in they flipped the switch there. I say they flipped the script and they said, we're going to do this differently today. And that worked out in a win. So good for them. Yeah. So the Bears figured it out and they got a nice win at home. I like the Bears a lot in that game and I'm glad I got on them and they proved me right, even though they were given 5.5 points. I liked them.
Yeah. Which I blew that one. I totally took New Orleans. I thought that was a lot of points and thanks.
I don't blame you. All right, Philly, Minnesota.
What a crazy game.
Eagles, who everyone wants to bury 6 feet under and say they're going to completely and utterly fall apart, found a way to win again. This time against Minnesota. Minnesota, obviously, the Carson Wentz revenge game.
Yes.
Although, indeed, Wentz did turn back into a pumpkin and do Carson Wentz-like things in this game a little bit. But Philly holds on. They win 28-22. They were 1.5 point favorites in that game. So again, is Philly solved? I mean, Saquon's numbers bad again, although he had like 17 touches, I think 17 or 18 touches in this game, Boy Green, but still had only like, just his yards from scrimmage were terrible. It was well under 100 yards, from scrimmage. So Saquon is still not getting it done. They gave him the ball a lot more, but unfortunately, most of the time he got it. There was a guy like right in his hip pocket when he handed it to him or when they threw it to him. So yikes.
I would just say this First, I would like to say sorry to Vikings fans. You totally got screwed on the TJ Hawkinson touchdown. That was 100% a touchdown. How does that get reversed? They're forced to settle for a field goal instead of getting the touchdown that they had. So I don't know. I've seen that play. I don't know if you've seen it, Lerch, but I've seen that play 100 times on Hawkinson, and he tucks the ball, has control. I don't know.
Yeah, that was shaky.
What's a catch, I guess, is always up for grabs there. But no, are the Eagles solved? It's crazy that Jalen Hurts had 326 passing yards. 183 of them went to Devontae Smith. 121 of them went to A.J. Brown, and there was enough room left over for 25 yards that got just sprinkled between a couple of different receivers. I mean, wow. So, solved for now. But again, I think the antidote to all of it is winning. You win. Everyone's happy.
That's correct.
Happy. Well, outside of A.J. Brown, I guess he always has to get his catches. But outside of him, it's hunky dory for everybody.
Yes.
But when you feed him like that, I mean, they're a tough team to stop. There's a reason that they pay 2 of those receivers, Devontae and A.J. Brown.
Yes.
They're 2 of the top 12 highest paid wide receivers in football. And when you have performances like that, you see why.
Okay. All right. So okay. Again, a win is a win for Philadelphia. And Minnesota, without its quarterback situation, settled in a bit of a quandary right now, even though they have a lot of talented players. And should be getting some of their guys back soon. I think Aaron Jones will be back soon. So we'll see.
Hopefully not.
Helps them. Yeah, I know you have Mason.
I got Jordan Mason on my fantasy team now.
Yeah, but it does look like they're, McCarthy seems like he's getting close now. How much longer they're going to wait for McCarthy beyond the injury? Because it's just like, was he really getting it here at the beginning of the year? Does he need more time, sitting on the bench? We'll see. Carolina Jets, we know the deal there. 13-6. Poor Jets don't even score a touchdown for the second straight week. Carolina's defense was impressive in this game. I will say that, Boy Green. I know it was amongst some ineptness by the Jets, but they had a couple of nice picks.
Let me just say, here's a stat.
Yeah, go ahead.
An unbelievable stat. So through the first 6 weeks of the season, that's a big sample size. The Panthers had 5 sacks total as a team, 5 across 6 games.
Oh my God. How many?
Against the Jets, they had 6. They had more sacks against the Jets than they had as a combined team through the first month and a half of the NFL season, which is unbelievable. So sure, yeah, they played like gangbusters. J.C. Horn had a couple of one-handed picks, which were crazily impressive. So yeah, Carolina, what a game. And now, we just mentioned earlier, Carolina is set to play Buffalo coming off the bye. No Bryce Young, apparently is a high ankle sprain, so it'll be Andy Dalton against your Buffalo Bills out there in the universe for any Bills Mafia fans listening in. So we'll see.
All right. Chargers, Colts, we touched on that one, but Colts win it 38-24. Daniel Jones continues.
Terrific.
I mean, man, Jonathan Taylor has like been reborn. I did not expect that from him this year. He has been unbelievable.
Should have drafted him at the turn. He was one of those many running backs, Kyron Williams, Jonathan Taylor, that's available in that second, third round area. And total, you just sometimes just gotta, not get cute and just take the best players available.
They're just loaded with weapons, this team. I mean, Tyler Warren has been fantastic.
Alec Pierce
is good. They've got Pierce. They just have a lot of guys. There's no one guy you can cover, one guy you can stop, because they'll just do other things to you. So they've proven to be very versatile in this great start that they've had so far. So we'll see if they can keep it rolling. But Indy looks good, and this was a road win for them against the Chargers team that needed it badly. Bit banged up, but they needed it badly. And they did not get it. So that just does show you something about who the Colts are. No need to go through Denver and the Giants again. 33-32 is the final. A cacophony of bad decisions, in my opinion. Plus, just not finishing off a game that they led 19-0 at the start of the fourth quarter, 26-8 with 10 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Okay. Need I say anymore? You just have to win in the NFL when you have those kind of leads in the fourth quarter, and the Giants just didn't. Washington, Dallas, boy, Green was on it. Oh my God. The rest of us clueless. I know that Dallas can score. I knew that they were at home. I knew this was a dangerous spot to take a favorite in Washington, 1.5 point favorite. Boy, Green, a lone wolf this game. He's always a secondary Cowboy fan because of his father, probably, right? Dallas doubles up Washington 44-22. A cavalcade of mistakes for the Commanders. Jaden Daniels hurt in this game. Looks like he might be lost for a few weeks. We'll see how that all goes down. Medicals to come on that. Maybe we'll find out a little more from Dalton by Wednesday. But man, convincing win by the Cowboys, who basically, because of everything that's going on in the division, are right in the thick of it. Right in the thick of it right now.
Hey, I mean, you just talked about all those fantasy quarterbacks that have done very well. Oh, look, Patrick Mahomes up there. Oh, Daniel Jones is up there. Oh, Drake May is up there. Dak Prescott is in that top 4, and Dak has been outstanding. I mean, absolutely spectacular. They're buoyed by the return of CeeDee Lamb, of course.
And he was big.
And you pair CeeDee Lamb. George Pickens was the man while CeeDee Lamb was out, which is, of course, what you want to see. And now you have both of them together, a first-world problem for Dallas and Javonte Williams and that defense.
Their defense is a disaster, but their offense is fantastic.
100%. So,
Dallas is going to have to outscore people, and 44 points, that'll get it done. That'll get it done.
100%.
Win some games, It's just like if your defense can hold teams to 13, like your team did, that'll get it done typically. And when your offense is scoring 44, that'll get it done. So 2 different ways, certainly, to win. The Jets didn't get it done. Dallas did with their 44 points. Good win.
I'm fascinated. Next for Dallas, they go to Denver to play the Broncos. So you guys just played. So I'll be fascinated to see how Denver
does on the road. Let's see what Dallas does on the road here. Against what should be a good defense.
Although Jaxson Dart carved them up like a
I know. It didn't look that good against the Giants. I thought that was going to be a very low-scoring game. That game went way past the over. Oh, my God. Yeah. Anybody on the under on that game was like, oh, this is brutal. Although at 19-0 going into the fourth, you're probably sitting on the under going, got this one in the bank. Right?
Suckers. Yeah.
33-32.
Yeah.
Right. 19-zip started a fourth quarter. And if you're on the under, which was probably in the low 40s, I'm going to assume in that game.
Yeah.
Let's just say it was 41, something like that. Blasted it. 33-32. All right. Last couple of games here. Green Bay hangs on for dear life against a beleaguered Arizona squad that we all were talking about. Is their coach going to be around much longer? Jonathan Gannon. Arizona was home for this one and 6.5 point underdogs, and they cover. 27-23 is the final. Ed Lone Wolf that game, by the way, was the only one that believed in Arizona. None of the rest of us did, and rightly so. What is wrong with Green Bay, Boy Green? I think that's really the greater question is what's wrong with Green Bay?
Yeah, I mean, Micah was awesome. He had 3 sacks himself, but like Jordan Love was just inconsistent, massively inconsistent, and they just seemed to be off. Like the good news is Josh Jacobs is awesome, so he looks pretty good. And then Micah as an individual, the defense was sort of spotty with Jacoby Brissett on the other side. But like Jordan Love on a consistency standpoint, we keep thinking that he's ready to reach the next level of awesome quarterback play, and he hasn't proven to consistently.
But you barely beat a Jacoby Brissett-led Arizona team.
They lost to the Browns in Cleveland.
It's just Green Bay is just anybody that's talking about them as a Super Bowl contender right now. I mean, get your green and yellow colored glasses off. I mean, they're not good. They're not that good. They're kind of a mediocrity right now. They might be able to get it together because they seem to have the players, but I don't know. That's a very unimpressive win, but a win is a win, as they say, right?
Yeah, for sure. And by the way, up next for Green Bay, they go to Pittsburgh for Sunday Night Football. So we'll see how they respond.
See how that goes. Sunday Night Football, we all watched it. San Francisco and Atlanta. I thought the Falcons maybe could get this thing together for a little bit. That team is so tempting. There's something about them that's so appetizing. But they only put 10 points on the board last night against a completely obliterated by injury San Francisco defense led by Robert Saleh. Oh, you Jet fans loving this, right? Ugh. Atlanta only scores a 10 spot. The defense played relatively good. I mean, it's hard to stop Christian McCaffrey. He's a beast, and he continues to be a beast. He had over 200 yards individually, total yards, churned up, running, catching. All right, over 200 yards for McCaffrey last night, including 2 touchdowns, and San Francisco wins 20-10 in that one and continues to impress. What are the 49ers? 4-2, I think, right now?
Yeah,
5-2, 4-2.
I don't get that
yet. But I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, that team should be under 500 considering everything that's happened.
5-2, 5-2 the Packers. Yeah,
5-2.
So, and here it is. Christian McCaffrey, by the way, also had the most rushing yards he's had in 2 years last night. So, again, for the fantasy, because we sort of try to weave these things in and out, when you had the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th pick in your fantasy draft, and you said, you know what, I'll go for Christian McCaffrey.
Which I did at one of our leagues.
Yeah, I did as well. And you swing for the fences and you go and you say to yourself, am I playing to win the league or am I playing not just to sort of not finish in the bottom 3? And some people have that conversation with themselves. You know, you swing for the fences. You're trying to win this league. And man, if Christian McCaffrey's healthy, you get a number 1 overall pick player at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, wherever you got him in your leagues. And boy, he's playing like an absolute nightmare right now. It's unbelievable.
All right, BG, real quick, since you mentioned fantasy real quick, my 3 fantasy teams, you give me, well, 1 you won't have to, but the other 2 you might, okay? Win or lose in the situation I'm in, all right? Okay. So in the Triple C League, my team went bananas in the Triple C League, to say the least. My team is done for the week. They scored 182.48 points, okay? So an insane week. Some of the players on that roster, Drake May, who had 23, Lad McConkey had almost 16. Travis Hunter finally woke up in that game because they were just chucking it late. He ended up with 24 points, including a touchdown. Christian McCaffrey had the 39. Fantastic. DeAndre Swift was on that team. He had over 20. Jake Ferguson had another over 20-point week as a tight end. By the way, he's tight end 1 right now in fantasy. Jake bleeping Ferguson is tight end 1 in fantasy right now for the season. I even got a 0 from good old Luke McCaffrey. I threw him in there on a whim because I had some bye guys, and he got me a big fat 0. Didn't affect my 183. Right?
Apparently not.
Brandon Aubrey had 17. The Chicago defense, I had them as well. They got me 13 points. So what a week, 182 points. So that one's over. I'm sorry to the man, the myth, the legend, who happens to be, by the way, Bill the produce guy. Sorry,
Bill.
Sorry, Bill. Oof. That was a beatdown of all beatdowns right there. I think that's the highest that any of my teams have scored this year. All right, but the other 2 at Playboy Green. So tell me, win or lose? Chumps League, fascinating. I'm in first place in the Chumps League going into this week. Boy Green, I have 83 points right now, 83.42 to be exact.
Yep.
My opponent is done at 127.14. Okay. So I got 83. He's got 127. So what are we talking about? 50,
44.
44. Right? Okay. 44 points.
Yep.
I've got tonight the big guns going, though.
Okay.
I've got Amon-Ra St. Brown.
All right.
Jackson Smith and Jigba. All right.
All right.
So those are like two of my best
Yeah,
guys.
there's
on my
the double
team.
Monday night headers tonight. Yep.
And I've also got the Houston defense against Seattle. So those are the three I've got tonight. And as you said, I'm like 40-ish down. So what do you think? Win or lose? Thumbs up?
I think you win.
Down. Be the Roman Emperor. Which
Yep. Yeah, right here. Yep, there we go. Full point PPR.
The projection, by the way, says I'm going to win by a point. So if everyone meets their projection, I win by a singular point. So this is definitely going to be a crazy night tonight. Okay. Right. So we'll see whether I hang on in the Chumps League or not. I'm playing. Who am I playing in that league? I'm playing DC Rising. All right.
Okay, Ken.
Ken.
Okay.
Right. So playing Ken's team. He's hoping that I choke tonight. We'll see how it goes. Okay. But it was a big comeback. That team was looking like they were dead. Champs League tonight. All right. We have a few battles.
We do.
But mine is one of them. I'm sitting at 134.84, and I am done. All right. So I am just sitting watching. America's team, which is our buddy Brandon. Is sitting at 115 thanks to Christian McCaffrey, who was on his roster. I was like watching those points go up, going, oh my God, I thought I had this thing, and maybe not. I am still projected to win, according to Yahoo, by about 6 points. But he's got one guy going tonight. He's roughly a little less than 20 beneath me. He's got Kenneth Walker going tonight. I looked at Kenneth on the season, by the way, Boy Green. So he'd be like 19 points to beat me tonight. Kenneth Walker this season. All right, I want to see what's his best performance. You know, what's he done game log wise? He's had 18.8 and 18 this year as his two best weeks. That was week 2 and 3. And if he scored either one of those, he'd come up just short. He has to score over 19 for him to get the win. So what do you think? Kenneth Walker, does he have his best week of the year and take the Manchild down? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs down for Kenneth Walker. I don't think he gets. I think you win that one.
All right. So maybe I'm going to hang on.
All right.
And if I do, then I'll have sole possession of first place because it does look like Al is going down. He
already lost. Yeah, that's what Al said. Yeah,
Al's done. So Al, sorry, we were tied, no longer tied. Perhaps.
Let me get you.
I still got to win. We might still be tied, Al.
Right. Well, I guess we'll see. All right, let me give you my Champs League situation.
Okay. I'll do thumbs up, thumbs down. All right.
Yes, 100%. That's what I need here. So I am finished. I have 149.36. You'd think 150 points should be safe.
And this thing's still going.
It's still going.
That's fantastic.
Mark has 3 players left. So
what does Mark have?
Here's who he has.
No, who's he? Points. How many points is he?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. 120. So he's 30 points behind.
He's 30 behind. You got about 150. He's got 120.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So 30 points behind. He has 3 people going.
Yeah. Okay.
And they are
David Montgomery. Okay. The Lions running back.
Always a roll of the dice. All predicated on touchdowns for Montgomery, who gets a lot of them, gets those goal line carries a lot of times.
Sam Laporta, the Lions tight end.
Having a surprisingly decent year, usually good for between 10 and 15 points most nights. Okay.
Yeah, right. And then the Buccaneers defense, but the Buccaneers defense has been super volatile, and they're playing Detroit.
They're playing against Detroit. So he's got an odd situation here. He needs for this thing to go big to get those guys on the board. But if that goes big, that's bad for the defense. So he's got the teeter-totter, right? Whoop, one up, one down. Whoops.
Correct. So sort of
down while pulling the score up.
I imagine what he's hoping for are the guaranteed points. So, like, if the Lions throw a pick 6, he gets the guarantee. No matter what happens, you get those points in the bank. So, for a defensive touchdown or something. But here's the thing: the fantasy overlords project me to win by 3 points. But 3 players, 30 points. Like, this is up in the air. So, give us the thumbs.
Let it play. Okay, 30 points, and it's Montgomery, Laporta. The defense, and Laporta.
Yeah, the Bucs defense. Yep. 30 points.
Mama. So I told you I liked the Lions tonight. And this game has all the potential to be a very high scoring game.
Yes, it does.
And I hate to say it, but you don't want that. I think you want this to go the other way. I don't think you want this to be
right. I mean, because high scoring just means that any one of the Lions could score touchdowns. It could be Gibbs, it could be Amon-Ra, it could be anybody. So
Tampa's defense doesn't get a big pick 6 or have a crazy sack game, which I don't think they'll have against the Lions, who have a very good offensive line.
Right.
They got a veteran quarterback who gets rid of the ball. So I don't think this is a high sack game for Tampa. So for the Tampa defense to score over 10, to get double digits, I think they're going to have a pick 6. Okay.
Right.
Otherwise, they're not going to get over 10 points in this game. So let's just say they settle somewhere around 5-6 points, which is probably
which is fine. Now I'll take that.
So, okay. So now you're basically talking about 24 points between those two guys. I'll tell you what, Boy Green, I'm going to, okay. So thumbs up for you, thumbs down for you. I'm going to go thumbs up.
Thank God.
I think your chances are pretty good. I mean, Laporta. And it'll come down to a touchdown. Can he get a touchdown on top of what he gets? Does he get 50 or 60 receiving yards plus a touchdown? Now all of a sudden that puts him into that.
Yeah, he's coming off 2 really good weeks. He's had 2 straight touchdowns over the last 2 weeks. 20 points and 16.5 points.
So he could get in that that 15-ish.
Which is not good.
That would be trouble, especially if Montgomery drops 1 and 2. Then you're done. So if both of them go for a TD tonight, I think you're toast. I think if neither or only one of them goes for a TD, I think you're going to win. So I think
I'll be on the edge of my seat
this
tonight.
Is totally, to me, touchdown dependent for both players to get them to a point where they can blast you. Because I do think that Sonic the Hedgehog, as we call him,
Jameer is going to eat. So great. I want him to eat as much as possible.
It's just, this is a situational game for you where you just got to hope that, they don't get like a reception and the guy goes out at the 1, here comes Montgomery. And you're like,
100%. That's what I got to avoid. And here's the thing, Lerch, I think this game is important because here's the thing, right? So I'm 4-2 in this league. Mark is 3-3. So the difference between 5-2 and 4-3 in this league with the level of difference at the top, I want to keep stacking these wins and put myself in a different conversation of cushion as the season develops. So I'm a little nervous.
I've had a lot of talk in recent weeks with people because I've been trying to acquire a receiver on my team because I'm kind of running back dependent. But I'll tell you what, the more I watch Josh Jacobs, who's one of my key running backs, who a lot of people have expressed interest in making a trade potentially with me.
Not surprised. Right.
He's a very good player. He's been rock solid this year. The more I'm not wanting to deal him because you know what he is that it seems like no other running back is this year.
What's that?
He is the absolute. There are almost no teams in the NFL where it's a one-guy backfield now.
That's true. Good point.
And he is because, and what I mean by one guy is I'm not saying the guy doesn't get downs off. I mean, Emmanuel Wilson was in there a little bit last night. They have a couple of guys, right? You just have to give a guy a blow here or there. All right. But what I'm saying is a one-man guy where that guy gets all the primary carries plus the goal line. All right.
Correct.
Gibbs is amazing. But he doesn't get a lot of the goal line carries. If they're inside the 3, it's here comes Montgomery almost every time.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
Even with Bijan, who I think is pretty close to being like a sole guy too. All right, another one of my guys. But Algier gets in there a lot of times on the goal line. I was like, what does Algier do? Get it? What's happening here? I'm getting ticked off as a fantasy owner. Like, what is my guy doing on the sideline? He's the best player. You're going to let this other guy run in the end zone? He did all the work, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But that's the reality of today's NFL. And more so, teams are more like 50-50, 55-45, most teams, So unless you have the great guy like a Bijan or a Jacobs or even Gibbs, like I said, is not even getting all the time. So even some of the great guys are still splitting. But Jacobs is the one guy he does not split. He gets the goal line carries every time. They love it. He's like a battering ram. They just all right, we're at anywhere from inside the 5, just give it to Jacobs, man. And he just always seems to get one. So, and McCaffrey would be another one. He's that way too. He's
for sure.
Locked. I mean, they get down into goal line. There's nobody else going in the game besides McCaffrey. So there are a couple of unicorns, and I would say that McCaffrey and Jacobs are 2 of very few in the NFL that are true number 1s who also get all the goal line carries as well. And that's key for fantasy points because those touchdowns are very meaningful. They are backbreakers to beat your opponents. The more touchdowns you can get, the better chance you're going to win. So just a little fantasy note going into next season, knowing your teams. A couple of years ago when I drafted Breece Hall and then my Breece Hall no matter what thing, a little piece of paper that I gave you, Boy Green.
Yeah.
No matter what, because I had
what a moment.
2 pick in the draft?
Yeah, number 2 because Courtney had number 1 and she was very likely going Christian McCaffrey, but you never know.
So I had 2 and I thought I would have a swing at Breece, and I took a swing, and it was a big swing and a miss. But the reason I took that swing with Breece in fantasy a couple of years ago was because I felt like he's an absolute number 1. He's going to get all the carries, including the goal line. And then it didn't turn out that way. Not only did he not play all that well, but then that Braylon Allen guy popped out of nowhere and started taking his carry. I was like, what's happening here? So I thought what I had was one thing, and then when I got to the season, it was a different thing. So be aware. You got to know your rosters and stuff in the crazy world of fantasy. So but when you get those guys, you like them, man. Like, the more people talk to me about Jacobs, the more I'm like, I don't know, man. I like that guy. He's pretty good.
So yeah, I guess we will both be on the edge of our seats tonight for this Monday Night Football action.
Yeah,
because
so
you know what?
right? Doubleheader.
Yeah,
Let's
correct.
preview it quick. Detroit,
Yes.
Tampa Bay is the early game.
Should be a fun one.
And they're a little staggered. What's the times on this one? Because is the Seattle Houston game genuinely later? How much later is it tonight?
Yeah, it definitely is
a little
later.
bit with these time frames. So we've been getting some. We had one that started like literally 15 minutes apart. Then more typically we're getting the 1 hour apart. Is this one more than an hour? What
it is. It's very much more than an hour. So the first one is going to start at 7 o'clock. The second game starts at 10 o'clock.
Wow. Okay. So this is like a true doubleheader. I mean, you'll get a little bit of overlap end of the first game, beginning of the second game.
Minimal.
Minimal. So yeah. Wow. So
stay up late, baby.
Oh boy. Good thing I don't have that 8 o'clock tomorrow. Might do it. I might have to do it. Boy,
which, by the way, let me double check. I'm pretty sure because it's Alliance Lions Bucks. So I will stay up because I am a freak for football, but I don't need that second late game for fantasy purposes. All mine will be decided in the first Monday night window. So we'll see what happens.
Right, and mine isn't right. What do I have? Who's did they say?
I said Jaxson Smith and Jigba too, right? So you gotta wait for the.
For me, it's I've got for my first Chumps League team, I got in Jigba, and in the Champs League, it's Kenneth Walker.
So you gotta wait for the super late game.
I'm up till 1 now, trying to figure out
1 in the morning, Lerch.
Whether I'm turning a 6-1 or not. Oh man, I want it bad too. Oh, it's so nice to be sitting in first place and have a game up on people. Some cases, 2 games up. Ooh, you can afford to lose then here or there, which you're going to lose.
Inevitably.
How good your fantasy team is, you're going to incur losses. So, it just, can you get the close ones so that it just buys you a little bit more time and keeps you up there in the standings. So, oh boy.
Because everyone gets blown out, but the close losses, those are the ones you gnaw at because it's 1 or 2 decisions here or there that could have flipped it the other way. So.
A crazy year in fantasy for me. Like to have 3 teams going in our leagues and to have several weeks, and this could be another one, although I'm on the fence in 2 of them, obviously, where I could go 3-0. Like that doesn't happen very often.
And you have different roster constructions. It's
very different roster constructions. Absolutely. Very different roster constructions. So different quarterbacks, different. I mean, there's a few guys that I'm threaded a little bit. I mean, I loved Tyler Warren. I think I got him in 2 of the 3 leagues.
Yeah.
I liked Drake May, and I have him in 2 of the 3 leagues. He's my starter in one of my leagues, and then obviously he's sitting behind Mahomes in the Champs League. So I liked him. But other than that, I don't think anybody else. Everything else is different. My running backs are different. My receivers are different. So, very, very different roster construction. Absolutely. Got to take whatever draft each of the drafts gives you. That's rule number 1, right? All right, 100%. Let's go to the comments one more time before we get out of here, see if there's some stuff worth chatting about here. Here's one from Johnny Boy. Another good one from Johnny Boy. He's very active this morning. Thank you, Johnny, for sending these in. With the season the way it has gone, which team is the most dominant in the AFC and NFC, and why? So you get 1 team, Boy Green. I get 1. You get 1.
Okay. In each of the conferences. So
in each of the conferences. So let's go this way. All right. So here's how we'll play this game. Okay. All right. You want to go AFC or NFC first?
I want AFC first.
You want AFC. All right. We'll go AFC, and I will give you the first pick. Okay. So I will not pick the same team as you. And then we get to
NFC,
I'll get first pick, and you can't pick my team. All right. So AFC, 1 team, dominant team in the AFC. Pick it and defend it.
Indianapolis Colts, easily. I'm running to that pick. They have blown out more teams this year than anyone else in football. They have multiple 20-plus point wins, at least 3 20-plus point wins on the season, and I think the other one ended up being 14 over the Chargers, or would have been 4. They've been dominant. They've got an identity. Daniel Jones is playing out of his mind. Their only loss of the season came from Adonai Mitchell's 2 mistakes where he fumbled the ball when he should have scored a touchdown, switching hands, and then he held on Jonathan Taylor's 60-yard touchdown run that also would have given them the lead against the Rams. They'd be undefeated right now. Easy peasy. The defense is spectacular. The coaching, shout out to Shane Steichen. It was looking a little questionable last year with the Anthony Richardson experiment. So, Colts are the best and most dominant team in the AFC. It's not close.
All right. It's a good pick, but I can't take it because you took it. So I have to go with, number 2. In all likelihood, at least in terms of how it's gone so far. But I am fully confident that by the time we get to the end of this thing, they might very well be number 1. It's too bad. I was hoping, wishing that I could be saying the Buffalo Bills here, but I can't. I can't at this point. Just can't. So I am going to go with the team that I believe is seriously on the rise. And even though they're 4-3, it doesn't matter. They're probably going to win this whole thing in the AFC. and that's the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes is playing epically good again. That offensive line is coming together around him, which is very dangerous. Now he's got all the weapons in the receiving core. If Pacheco gets going, and he's starting to show some signs, by the way, or they make a trade for someone, they go get a Breece Hall or something and put him in the system, or some other good back out there that someone might be willing to dump salary on, and they were able to flip that running game, look out. I think their defense is still a little spotty, but I think it'll come around, but the offense will compensate for it. So I got to go Kansas City Chiefs. All right. And now we'll flip over to the
real quick.
Yeah,
here's the only problem, Lerch, is if the playoffs started today, the Chiefs would be out. They're not even in the playoffs right now.
We're not. And so, and I don't care. 4-3 may not look impressive right now. Watch that team play. They are impressive.
Okay.
They're just flat out impressive.
You get the
I didn't want to be saying that. I didn't want to be saying that. I'm telling you right now, I'm hating that I'm saying that, but I have no choice. I can't take the Colts, so I have to go somewhere else. There's nowhere else to go for me other than the Chiefs. Just the Bills, there's just too many holes right now that I don't like going forward. I love their quarterback, but the rest of the roster is scaring the bejesus out of me. So I can't go there. NFC. Okay.
Yeah, you get the first pick. Yeah.
Ooh, it's a lot harder, the NFC than the AFC.
I think so. That's why I wanted the AFC bad.
I mean, record-wise, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the best team at 5-1. The Eagles currently sit at 5-2. Green Bay, 4-1-1, and very unimpressive to me as a 4-1-1 team. So there's no way I'm taking them. I'm not taking San Francisco, despite the 5-2.
Okay.
Boy, the Rams. Ooh, the Rams are so much better than I thought they'd be. I'm stuck between two teams, and neither one of them is leading their division. Okay.
All right.
I'm stuck between the Rams and the Lions.
Ooh,
all right.
Okay.
The Rams and the Lions. I know the Lions haven't been that dominant team like they looked like last year, but I still have a lot of faith. I don't know. There's something about them, the hunger. They don't need to kill it in the regular season here.
Restore the roar.
Look, they haven't been the most dominant. And the fact that the Rams could do what they did without Puka yesterday really blew my mind. I'm going to go with the Rams. I'm going to go with the Rams. The Rams are the most dominant team in the NFC. They got a great quarterback. They have a really good receiving core when they're healthy, and he's going to be healthy quickly. I think they get a bye this week, don't they? And then he's back. So
yes, right.
So they're going to get healthy sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Great play caller, head coach. McVay is excellent. Oh, he's so good. He's so good. Mm-hmm. And that defense is a lot better than I thought they'd be. They're really solid. They're really pretty rock solid. So I got to go Rams, Boy Green. I know I probably took something off the board. Sorry, pal.
You did. Which hey, that's
Indianapolis for me. So
that's fair enough. Yeah.
Favor.
Which is crazy. The Rams have a plus 58 point differential, which is the best in the entire NFC conference. So I was ready to roll that out as a choice for myself, but unavailable. So I can't.
All right.
And oh my goodness gracious. Because I see Al is a big Cowboys fan, so he's trying to pound them in there at 3-3-1. That's a little too low on the totem pole for me, but you can make a strong case that they're looking in the right direction at the right time for sure. I'm going Seattle, man. They are tied with they're just 9 points short, and obviously they play this evening, so their point differential is about to be the best in the NFC because they're going to score more than 9 points tonight. Sam Darnold, man, a lot of people joked that Sam Darnold in Seattle, it was going to be a classic overpay. Kevin O'Connell did his quarterback fixing, but as soon as he leaves, he's going to be terrible. Back to Sam Darnold Jets land, and he's been spectacular. Shout out to Mike McDonald getting that defense right. They made a ballsy move, right? They had Geno Smith, and a lot of people said just Geno, DK, bring them all back, but they traded away DK, traded away Geno, bring in Sam Darnold, bring in Cooper Kupp. I don't think everyone believed in the Kool-Aid they were selling, but I certainly am. Sam Darnold has been spectacular so far this season. They will, again, lead the NFC in point differential by the end of the night here once that's official. Like Tampa Bay, because they've won all these games crazily, they have a plus 14 point differential because every game has been close. Seattle, on the other hand, has been dominating teams, and I think that shows clearly in the points per game so far this season, but also with their identity. I love Seattle. Got to go Seattle. Yeah.
See, these are teams where, man, we would have thought we've been saying these teams before the season started. And here we are, and we've just gotten only a 7-week glimpse at these teams.
Correct. So early, right?
Wow. By the way, Mook won a little camera time today. So
I appreciate that. Nice. Shout out to Mook. Good to see you.
Sporting a flannel
Oh, yeah,
shirt.
let's get full screen here. Let's go.
Mook's sporting. Yeah, there we go. Take that out. Look at Mook sporting a flannel.
Oh, nice.
Collar. Nice,
Look
buddy.
at that. Great.
Mook is here, by the way, for those that don't know. It's my dog, Mookie. And Mookie is 13 years old. He's a Cavachon, Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, and Bichon mix. He's extremely smart, extremely attached to his father.
Did you say Bichon
I
mix?
should say I'm not his father, his owner.
Yeah.
Bichon Frise.
Oh, wow.
And Cavalier.
Okay, great talent base there. Very nice.
Very good.
Yeah.
And Mook is, by the way, here for every single show here at the home studios.
Dedication.
He is. You don't see him, but he's 3 feet away, lying on the floor, either out cold or just enjoying the dialogue. So he was.
See, that's integrity, Lerch. Even when you don't see him on camera, that it's dedication there for every show, grinding, nose to the grindstone, nose to the floor, sleeping, just all in all day. I respect that.
He sees me now. I mean, he is so smart. He sees me gathering up the gear, getting my gear on, whatever hat I'm going to wear today for the show. Right. He sees me starting to gear up before I even come to the studio in the house. He's already moving in that direction. He's already waiting at the studio door. Then when I come, boom, he's right in, and then he always stays the duration. So he's very dedicated. You've seen him. He used to come to the radio studio. After we got out of post-pandemic, and I think this all kind of began when I was working from home during the pandemic, and you were working in the radio studio. A lot of people don't know that, but to put it back in perspective, and then all of a sudden I was home all the time, and he developed this habit of coming and sleeping at my feet, or wanting to sit on my lap while I was doing the radio show, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. Like, he just loves being up here when I'm talking and paying no attention to him at all. And then when we got out of the pandemic and we started coming back into the studio to do the show again together, I started on Fridays, bringing him just once a week to the studio, and he would come in. And what would he do, Paul?
Exactly that.
Crawl up in a ball and fall asleep, right at our feet.
Yeah, right. Sure.
Right. Same spot, pretty much.
Which I try to take no offense over, that our entertaining banter somehow would put people to sleep, but I try to accept that where it is.
But he enjoyed it, just snoozing throughout the show, and he'd be there for the full 2-hour show. And then as soon as I rolled my chair out to after I closed the show, literally he was up, sitting up, waiting to get his leash on and go out the door. So he's a dedicated, maybe our most dedicated listener.
Perhaps. I think that's definitely it.
He gets to see it in person every single day. So how about
By the way, one last quick shout out. I see Philly Noodles is in here. He says, let's talk about those other fantasy leagues. He is in first place in our Boy Green Coffee Club leagues. And I know it's
mentioned. Go for it.
There you go. Yes. I'm the third string quarterback now, 5-1, and has already secured victory. He has a 30+ point victory already in the book. So shout out. And he has been involved in some of our lower radio leagues. So we'll see if Philly can make a rise on up over the years to get up eventually to one of our bigger leagues.
I think in one of our leagues, we were looking last week. We got in in the leagues. I'll just jump in very quickly, but I think does Triple C still have an undefeated team? I think it did going into this.
Let me pull that up.
Triple C 6-0 is a team called Love Thy Neighbors.
Yes, Jeff.
All right.
And he will continue undefeated. He's going 7.
Is he going to win again this week? I was just going to say.
Oh, yeah. He played a loud NYG is the best. Dan O'Brien. Good Lord. He's got 67 points right now. That's pathetic. But he should get some help from Rashad White and CJ Stroud tonight, so we'll see. But I doubt 60 points is coming from that combination, so that game's likely over. But yeah, I love thy neighbors, Jeff, likely extending the undefeated streak there.
And I'm right behind him at 4-2 in that league. Second place, but I'm in second place in that league. Why couldn't I have gotten him this week where I scored 183 points? Right?
Oh my gosh!
I would have took him out to the woodshed, but I would not, because he only scored 121 points this week. So I put him to shame. But he's got a 2-game lead on me, and he keeps winning. So, is anybody undefeated in the quad cities? Because that's the only league.
That's a good question. Yeah, let me take a peek down at the quad.
So no more undefeated teams in our top 2 leagues. Third league, Triple C, 1 undefeated team. We just mentioned them. And quad cities.
Yeah, there's 3 5-1 teams.
3
I've
5-1.
already secured victory, so I will be 6-1 in that league. So
he's mopping up again.
and I'm taking out another 5-1 team, so I'm eliminating one of them and leapfrogging them by beating them. And then let's see, Big T is gonna lose, which means that your boy Green will be in sole possession of first place in the Quad Cities League, baby, at 6-1.
That hurts. See,
as the defending champ as well. So let's go.
I have to get down in these leagues to stop him. It's just anything. Like
I'm going to stack the championships. This is
notice in all the leagues that we're in together. I'm in front of you.
Interesting. But the Quad Cities,
it's all about stacking up those names on that trophy, on those different trophies, isn't it?
You're collecting them, baby. Oh, so Lerch, you're going to dip your toes in the Quad Cities waters? Is that what you're saying?
It could come to pass. Let's see how it goes this year, but I could be convinced.
Okay.
I like to leave someone else some spots down there, like we don't have to fill them all up, but yeah, I don't like it. He's taking advantage of you people down there in the Quad Cities. Come on, people. Come on. Bounce back. Show some chutzpah. Man.
Yeah, I will also say this, folks. There is a spot that is close to opening in the Quad Cities. There's someone that's just doing terrible, and I don't know how long they're going to remain committed to this team. So, hey, folks, if you're out there in the universe and you may be interested, make sure you reach out. I'll throw this up on the screen. Again, you always want to be on the emergency list in case a spot opens up. And again, I have a feeling there's a team not doing very well in the Quad Cities that maybe you can turn it around. I have no idea, but there's my email on screen and social media is @boygreen25. Reach out ASAP. You can take over a fantasy team and join our leagues. And hey, you work your way up, you show dedication, you never know when an opportunity will present itself.
Oh, man. All right, I'm just wafting real quick through the comments before we get out of here.
Sure, yeah.
Fantasy leagues looks like we've covered it.
Yeah.
I saw Al, Big Al, one of our
when we're doing the Cowboys who's the dominant team
together. Cowboys coming together. You, Al, there's 3 people in the world who believe that. You, Paul's father, and Jerry Jones. Okay, you 3 all sit on the same perch. Okay, other than you 3, there's nothing coming together about the Cowboys. They can score a lot of points, but that defense is horrible. And I don't see that. Although who knows if this NFC East as bad as it is?
Yes, that's true.
I mean, I don't know. I can't take the Cowboys seriously right now. At all. So okay, I think we've covered it, and we've gone a pretty long way today.
Sure.
Let's set up the week for everyone before we get out of here, Boy Green. So
yes.
We're back, obviously live Wednesday. Dalt Wasserman back in the fold with us for our normal Wednesday at 11. So you don't want to miss that. Tell people what else we have.
Yeah, so we're gonna have Brunch with Bud tomorrow morning. You guys can check that out at 11 o'clock. That's a pre-recorded interview, so it'll post up at 11 o'clock. You guys will be able to catch that. In the early afternoon, you should be able to get some Giants coverage for you Giant fans out there, and the Jaxson Dart stuff, and the good that came from the Broncos game and the bad, and then the Eagles rematch. That Giants-Eagles rematch is coming up this week. Hey, Giants are going for the sweep ski over the Eagles. I'll have to look back the last time the Giants swept the Eagles. So we'll have some of that content coming up on Tuesday. Lerch did mention it. We'll have PFF NFL analyst Dalton Wasserman joining us live. That's our next live show at 11 o'clock on Wednesday morning. We'll have our Jake Asman interview talking Jets. If any of you guys are still interested in Jets, we will have Jets Bengals preview. We'll have a Wednesday night live show, of course, our latest episode of Survivor. That'll be 9:45. Myself, Manchild, and Brett LaBelle, former Survivor castaway from season 33, Millennials versus Gen X. So, guys, you watch the hit reality show Survivor on CBS or Paramount Plus, and then you immediately jump over here to our digital world to have a post-game show for that Survivor episode. So that's going to be a lot of fun at 9:45 this Wednesday. We'll also have a Syracuse content, sort of keep your eye out for that. That's sort of floating on when exactly that'll be, but likely Andy Demetra, the voice, play-by-play voice of Georgia Tech, who's a top 10 team in all of college football. That'll be the next challenge for the Syracuse Orange, so we'll see if Syracuse can bounce back there. We'll have that interview up at some point this week for Syracuse, Georgia Tech. Thursday, Anthony Prohaska, our Buffalo Bills guru, as they come out of the bye. Did they get anything out of the bye? And setting up for that Bills-Panthers game. And then a ton of content on Friday. We'll have our NFL picks against the spread, where you guys can make all your picks against the spread as well on our Instagram story. And then our NFL live show with Joe Bartle, talking all things fantasy football. So if you guys have fantasy football questions, you can submit those to Joe Bartle on Friday morning, and he will answer them. So make sure you take full advantage of an expert that gets paid to do this for a living to answer any of your questions. It doesn't have to necessarily be in our radio leagues if you're not in those. You can ask questions regardless of the league you're in, so take full advantage. That is our week of content. Manchild.
Fantastic. All right. We'll be busy beavers as we always are. Folks, thanks so much for jumping in with us today. And we will be back again, like you said, live on Wednesday, but plenty of content coming your way. Bud Poliquin tomorrow. You heard Boy Green go through the list. Enjoy it all. And we will see you again live on Wednesday. Take care, everybody. Be good.